Trust the system.
Demolish everything that's in our way.
Following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by Alicia Edwards, representing the System, the team of Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers.
And for the System tonight, it is all about rebounding after sacrifice. Because of outside of all the chaos at the hands of Nick and Ryan Nemeth at the conclusion of that event, ultimately it was the System and the Colognes who came up short in that huge 10-man tag team cage match. So for the System, specifically Myers and Edwards tonight, it's about getting back on the right track.
Is this a must-win for the System?
I think in their heads it absolutely has to be. You can't let your momentum die on that hill. You've got to charge forward and reestablish who you are. Show the world why the System works.
Ryan Myers and Eddie Edwards together are two-time TNA World Tag Team Champions. They are a formidable force, but they're going to have quite the task this evening.
Opponents. First, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 231 pounds, Elijah!
What an entrance Elijah had this past weekend, live and sold out here in El Paso, Texas at Sacrifice. You can relive it anytime on demand on TNA+. Elijah striding into the El Paso County Coliseum on a horse named Tay-Tay.
I miss Tay-Tay.
I do too. Elijah, quite a performance inside the steel cage, while his team got the victory, as we saw earlier on tonight. Nick and Ryan Nemeth feel completely justified in their actions for what happened and the way that they destroyed Matt Hardy. Elijah doesn't even remember
What
your
did
name.
I do to him?
Not enough, apparently.
I'm the greatest singer the ring's ever seen, either way.
Debatable.
Elijah's gonna see if that momentum from Sacrifice can keep moving forward for him and the TNA World Champion in this main event.
Elijah and Hendry have teamed up in the past. Just a few weeks ago, dispatched Eddie and Orlando Colognes. Can they make the magic happen once again tonight in our main event?
Name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo.
And his tag team partner from Edinburgh, Scotland, weighing in at 252 pounds of pure motivation. He is the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry.
Earlier on tonight, Hendry and Elijah told our broadcast colleague Gia Miller that they have heavy hearts following what happened at Sacrifice. They're thinking about Matt Hardy, who was sent to the hospital by Nick and Ryan Nemeth. They're thinking about Jeff Hardy, who's now medically cleared to compete at this time after his ladder match with Moose, but they realize they've got to move forward. Elijah and Hendry have worked well in the past.
And the opposite point of what I made earlier about the System, it's must win for them. But in the minds of Hendry and Elijah here, tonight could be a chance to stop the System in their tracks, potentially for good.
Joe Hendry in his 60th day as the TNA World Champion. He dethroned Nick Nemeth back at Genesis in January to become champion. He's had plenty of dealings with the System during his time here in TNA Wrestling. On Hendry going right after Myers.
And this one starting fast and furious.
Myers is trying to big league. Hendry there. There's the big man, the big world champion, Joe Hendry.
And look out, the champ's not done yet. The power of Joe Hendry here.
Big power slam by the champion.
And this is not the way Myers and Edwards wanted this thing to start.
And there is an understanding between Elijah and Joe Hendry. Elijah has told Hendry, I'm not coming after your TNA World Championship. He wanted to handle business in the cage. He's getting his footing here in TNA, and he'll put his boot right all over the face of Eddie Edwards there.
Color me a little bit suspicious, though, if you ask me. Who comes to this company and does not want to be world champion? To me, it's just a matter of when, where, and how.
Off of the top, time to walk with Elijah.
Yeah, he redirected there when he saw Ryan Myers coming back into the fray, and now both members of the system on the floor.
Tough start for the system. Joe Hendry and Elijah are rolling. Our main event continues. And we are back here, capacity crowd inside the El Paso County Coliseum in West Texas. What a night it's been on TNA Impact. This is our main event. The TNA World Champion Joe Hendry and Elijah in control against the system.
And the world champion going for a cover here.
On a kick out by Eddie Edwards. Of course, we're all still reeling from the savage conclusion to Sacrifice's Nick and Ryan Nemeth assaulted Matt Hardy after Matt Hardy and his team, consisting of Elijah, Joe Hendry, Leon Slater, and Nick Nemeth, defeated the system and the Colognes inside a steel cage. Nick and Ryan Nemeth left Matt Hardy bloody and beaten, locked inside the cage. Matt Hardy sent to the hospital after Sacrifice.
Earlier tonight, Nick Nemeth made his feelings very clear as to why he made that decision. We'll have to wait for the Hardys to return to see if there might be any ramifications, but oh, Myers feeling some of his own right there.
Alicia creating a distraction there.
And I think Eddie Edwards was able to snap off a baseball slide drop kick there to Elijah on the outside.
That is how the system works.
Indeed, it does.
Strength in numbers, and now Eddie Edwards has taken over against Elijah.
And you mentioned it before, former two-time TNA Tag Team Champions, a well-oiled machine, any which way you toss it.
I can only imagine how Eddie Edwards is feeling after entering the cage at Sacrifice and seeing the system and the Colognes come up short.
Especially after Eddie Edwards fought that match to earn the advantage that the system and the Colognes held for so much of that matchup in the early going.
Ryan Myers into the ring, trying to slow things up here against Elijah.
Certainly a mixed bag for the system at Sacrifice. You mentioned it before, Moose ultimately victorious in his first ever ladder match, defeating the charismatic enigma, the legend Jeff Hardy. Moose fighting his fear and retaining the title.
Tag made Eddie Edwards, who's legal, into the matchup. A lot of questions for the system now in 2025, a group that formed at Hard to Kill 2024. And now Alicia grabbing Elijah by the beard. The referee doesn't see it, was distracted by Eddie Edwards. Joe Hendry, obviously and justifiably ticked off.
You always got to keep a couple of eyes in the back of your head when the first lady of the system is around.
Shot right to the ribs. Myers and Edwards have enjoyed the control the system has had over TNA wrestling. Hand in the face, here's the cover and a kick out. The system ran a rough shot over this company better part of 2024, but feels like there's still something to be desired at this point in time. Tag.
Well, once you have power, Tom, it's the one thing, even more than money, more than championships even at times, that power to be at the top like that. You lose that, and then there's nothing you want more than to get it
on
back.
A cheap shot by Edwards on Hendry, and now he's choking Elijah. The referee's trying to calm down Hendry and didn't see what Edwards was doing.
Well, that one's on Hendry. He's got to maintain his composure. And the system taking taking firm advantage of that one.
Going for a suplex there now, Elijah. Hold on. Spinning out that neck breaker. Face down goes Eddie Edwards. Elijah's got an opportunity now. Can he crawl to Hendry?
Both men looking for tags.
And a tag made. It's Hendry to meet Myers.
And now the world champion lighting both members of the system up here.
And a fall-away slam by the global phenomenon. Oh, now Myers gets caught.
Look at the strength of Hendry. Not letting anything slow him down.
And another fall-away slam.
Hendry is feeling it tonight in El Paso. And the system on the ropes here.
Oh, now look at this. Eddie Edwards circling behind, takes out Elijah, takes away the tag option. The referee's checking on Elijah. Now a 2-on-1 opportunity for the system. Look at this, and a spear by Myers.
Numbers game. Beautiful here.
Cover, cover. Oh, and a kick out by the TNA World Champion.
That was almost perfectly executed by the system, by Myers and Edwards there. But could it now be a matter of time? Myers lining up.
Imagine the benefits the system could reap if they pinned Hendry tonight. Elijah running interference, helping out Hendry.
Now look out.
Oh! Hendry trying to deal with two combatants at the same time. A kick right to the head. Elijah still woozy on the outside. Edwards has a hold of Hendry.
Oh, look at this.
Let's go for the backpack stunner and the elbow drop combination they call system overload. Ooh. There's Elijah with a knee.
And look at this. Hendry's got Myers.
All the way up for a standing ovation. Hendry and Elijah beat the system.
Here are your winners, the team of Elijah and the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry.
For the second time in a week, Hendry leads a team to snuff out the system. You gotta wonder what could be next for what was TNA's most powerful group.
What a victory tonight in El Paso, Texas. What does the future hold for the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry? Thank you for joining us tonight on iMPACT.